Alrighty, Villain Vice Squad, it's the last episode of this podcast. Let's do this. 3 summer camp horror stories you shouldn't tell in the dark. I'm too lazy to make a thumbnail or a page for this, so make sure to tune into my next podcast, Dungeons and Deadlocks. Except I won't be making it right away. No. Now, let's, damn it, I lost my voice. Let's get on with these, stories. Yeah, horror stories. You shouldn't tell in the dark. 3 summer camp horror stories you shouldn't tell in the dark. Let's go. Story 1. Pool party. No. Death day, yes. Tell you this story, my daughter's going to have to. Come up, sweetie, don't be shy now.
This story happened to me not that long ago.
Okay, tell us all about it, please.
When I was in elementary school, I would spend 1 month at a summer camp held deep in the woods. I'd been going there for many years, just like my parents did before me. And my parents met at that summer camp.
Well, actually, no. Yes, your mom did go there, but I was too good for that goody two-shoes camp.
I have been going there for many years and made friends with some of the people there. People would come to the camp from hours away, and I would usually have to wait a whole year before I could see my friends again. Eventually, 5th grade rolled around, and my parents dropped me off to my very last year at the camp. Because it was our last year, some of my buddies felt like pushing the rules a little bit. My camp was very strict and there was a set schedule we were supposed to follow. We would spend our days hiking, bear self-defense, swimming, and more. Obviously, we would have free time here and there where we would just be gals. We play a game of paintball. We were not allowed to bring our cell phones to camp, so most of our entertainment came from doing activities in the woods. At 9 p.m. it was lights out and we were all expected to be in our cabins until morning.
9 p.m., eh? Same time I went to bed when I was a kid. But I let these little monsters go to bed at like midnight or 11, 10. I don't know. It's always switcheroo every day.
Shush, let me finish my story. This was probably the most serious rule we had to follow. If you were caught sneaking out by a camp counselor, you were sent home immediately and could not come back ever again. There was always a couple of kids that would try it every year. Maybe it was mom and dad sneaking out to have a kiss.
How many times do I have to tell you I didn't go to this dumb camp?
They were always caught. However, this was my last year at the camp, and I only had about less than a week left. My friends and I were thinking about planning a party or whatever, to sober the fact that we were 5th graders and would soon be going our separate ways for middle school. A few of my boyfriends planned a nighttime pool party. This pool was located far away from the counselor's cabin. That way, once we got there, we could make as much noise as we wanted without being overheard. Normally, I was a rule follower and rarely got in trouble.
Hey, why are you guys looking at me? I didn't shape her into a good hero thing. It's because this idiot was raised by her grandma. But now that I'm back in the picture, I can do as much as I want.
Anyway, I was a little anxious about the idea, but I didn't want to look like a loser, so I told everyone I was down. There were 8 of us going in total, for girls and for guys. 4 of the girls from my cabin, and for guys from one of the 5th grade cabins. We went to the pool far from the other cabins. That way, when we got there, we could make as much noise as we wanted. We planned to meet at the pool around midnight or earlier. My gal pals and I waited until 11:50 p.m., and then we set off on foot. We weren't trying to draw too much attention to ourselves, so while walking we used only one flashlight. After 10 minutes of walking, we finally reached the pool. The boys had already beaten us there. They were having fun and laughing. Soon the girls and I were already climbing over the fence and helping each other down. It was near 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were all chatting and swimming until we heard noises. Maybe we should head back. But all my friends disagreed until we saw strange people with no clothing except a blowing cloth around their waist.
"You do not belong here, creature. Get away,"
said Mary, a girl from my group. Some of the strange men were holding weapons. Some of them had hammers, and the others had axes. I watched in horror as one of the men bashed one of their hammers into Mary's skull. When that happened, she then fell in the pool, and it filled with blood.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
Then the rest of my girlfriends and I started climbing over the fence and start running. Once we got back to the camp, we woke up the counselors, who ended up calling the police. They believed the weird men were part of some cannibalistic tribe that lived off the land. The camp did everything they could to shut people up about the story, but once the news broke out, they ended up having to shut down the camp. I wasn't thinking about the camp being shut down. I was thinking about Mary and all the blood in the pool. If it wasn't for my clever thinking, they would have killed me just as horribly as they killed Mary. I can still hear her screams when I close my eyes to sleep at night.
Okay, Veronica, that really wasn't too scary, but you just gave me an idea for my new true crime podcast.
Really?
Yeah, go check out Robloxian Crimes, coming soon. Anyway, sweetie, you can get out of my chair now.
Thanks, Dad, for featuring me on this last episode.
Story 2. Jake. Again, this story didn't really happen to me per se, it actually happened to my son. Come up now, don't be shy.
Okay, I call the story Jake. I went to this camp, and it was called Jake. No one knew the full truth about the camp.
Man, Timmy, this is interesting. What was the history about the camp? Now you just got me curious, thanks.
There was a girl named Jake.
A girl named Jake. I think it was a guy, Timmy. You're hallucinating again.
I thought she was so hot, but people said she was a boy in disguise, and she wasn't. The end.
Wow, Timmy, if I'm being honest, that was really lame. Like, no cap, that did not slay all day. These other good storytellers, I gotta let them cook. You're just a Lulu if you think that qualified as a good story. Just take the L, for real, for real.
You don't even know what any of those terms mean.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, thank you, Timmy, for being on this last episode of Robloxian Stories. I think I'll get it from here. Alrighty, guys, I think I'm just gonna have to end it right here. I know I said I'd do 3 horror stories, but I think I'm just gonna do 2. This video is already very long as it is, and now I can do my compilation once these episodes come out. Stay tuned for the compilation. It's gonna come out soon, I promise. See you later, detectives.